had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen.
A short hearing with a big impact on what's next in the Delphi murders investigation. Richard Allen's defense attorneys are stepping down, so that means his trial will likely be pushed back. Thanks for inviting us in at 6 o'clock. Richard Allen is charged with killing Abby Williams and Libby German back in 2017. This case was back before a judge this afternoon. We've got live comprehensive team coverage from Allen County for you tonight at 6. Our Emily Longnecker and senior investigative reporter Bob Segall are in Fort Wayne right now, breaking down what happened in court and what's next.
Scott, huge surprise today here in Allen County Court. The Delphi murders trial that had been scheduled for January now on hold after both attorneys for the defense have stepped down. The most telling moment in court today happened before the hearing even got started. Defense attorney Brad Rosie walked into the courtroom. He approached Richard Allen's wife and mother, whispered something to them, and then they all left together. Moments later, we learned why, as the judge announced what she called an unexpected turn of events. She said attorney Andrew Baldwin withdrew as defense counsel, and attorney Brad Rosie will also withdraw. That leaves Richard Allen with no defense team, meaning the rest of today's court hearing was quickly called off.
Obviously, without counsel, Mr. Allen's hearing cannot proceed. I apologize that I know many of you have been waiting for several hours. I know, Mr. McClellan, you and your staff, and you had some witnesses here that came earlier to have the hearing, but clearly this is outside of our control.
The judge announced she will now ask for a new public defender to represent Richard Allen. 13 Investigates has learned the attorneys who just stepped down have already been paid more than $116,000. And we should point out that's taxpayer money that's funding those public defenders. So the next court hearing for Richard Allen, that's going to take place on October 31st. At that point, we might also learn a new trial date for Richard Allen. As of right now, we know that the trial date set for January 8th, that's not happening. That is going to be delayed. So what caused the defense attorneys to suddenly step down? Emily Longnecker has been looking into that question. And Emily, there were some court documents filed just this morning that makes this resignation even more surprising.
Yeah, those court documents, Bob, seem to indicate that the defense had no intention of withdrawing. If anything, they seemed to show that the defense would fight any kind of disqualifications that might come up today. And 13 No's spoke with an attorney that was here today to represent Attorney Baldwin. That's right, Attorney Baldwin had his own attorney here in court in case sanctions or disqualifications came up. That attorney, David Hennessy, filed paperwork this morning where we learned about a leak that came from Baldwin's office, not from staff, but by a friend who had access to Baldwin's office space. In the paperwork filed today, Hennessy called the leak, quote, a horrible tragedy created by persons not related to the defense of Mr. Allen. Hennessy also wrote, Mr. Baldwin trusted a friend to respect his office space, and he was betrayed. The memo also talked about that leak, the information coming out of that leak being shared and disseminated by 3 different people. That memo also indicated that one of those persons died by suicide when law enforcement started to look into this leak. The memorandum talked also about a strong bond between attorney Baldwin and Richard Allen and really argued for the importance of keeping the same counsel for Allen's rights and a timely trial. And then about 4 hours later, everything changed.
Yeah, clearly this is a huge setback for the defense. And when we talk about leaks, we're talking about evidence leaks in the case. Allegedly crime scene photographs that have been distributed that potentially came from the defense counsel's office. So huge developments here today. The next information that we will learn is going to likely come out on October 31st. That is the next hearing date for Richard Allen. And as we mentioned, at that point, we hopefully will also learn a new trial date that will be set coming up sometime in 2024. Scott, back to you.
And another delay for these families of these two young girls that were killed 6.5 years ago. Bob Segall, Emily Longnecker from Fort Wayne, thanks so much. And we are staying on top of every development in this big case. You can see the timeline for this investigation, see all the filings that are not sealed. Just go to WTHR.com/Delphi.